Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, c'est Jackie, for another JaYo review. Um, this is today I'm going to be reviewing my trip uh, to the Dominican Republic, to Punta Cana. I went to a resort, all-inclusive resort for technically 11 days, and yeah, I wanted to review it with you as I've reviewed other resorts and other trips that I've been on. This one was an incredible trip, and I have lots and lots and lots to share and to say. So before we continue on, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, c'est Jackie, for more content. I do all kinds of content, language classes, theater, reviews. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. Don't forget to like this video or dislike it. Write me a little comment below letting me know your thoughts if you've been to this resort or if you want to get more information. And share this video with the world. Thank you. Muchas gracias. All right, let's get into it. So, we are going to talk about my trip to Punta Cana. So, I really love searching for trips. I think, I've been traveling since I was a baby. Personally, I've been very privileged enough to travel with my family and by myself for many, many years. And so in my young adulthood, I think because I went to boarding school at 15, I was independent very quickly. And so I learned to figure out how to do research and find good deals on my own. My mom was someone who was really good at researching stuff. And I think I have inherited that gene for sure. So, when it comes to my own trips that I've organized myself, as well as trips that I've organized for my family, I usually find us a really good deal. I'm gonna first start talking about how much it costs, like the nitty gritty of the actual package thing, and then we'll go straight doing a review of the resort, which is Ocean El Faro in the Dominican Republic. Ocean El Faro Resort, or I think it's part of H8 Resorts or something like that. So I did a lot of research. My favorite site I found is Expedia for resorts. I've done some digging in other places, and if y'all have other pointers or secrets about where to find really good resort deals or just deals in general, like package deals, please let me know in the comments below. I love expanding my knowledge and having more ideas and thoughts. But so far I've been in the last I would say 6 years. I have all the resort deals I've found have been on Expedia, and I've mostly gone to Mexico. I went to Cancun, and then last year with my family we went to Playa del Carmen. So this year I have been going. In 2024, I mean, I've been going nonstop in terms of my teaching and my acting career. And I was really tired. And I had auditioned for a million plays that were happening in November, December, and hadn't been cast in any. So I decided, why don't I take a trip and relax? So I did. And I asked my friends and family if anyone was available, and one friend, my friend Amber, decided to join me, which I am so grateful for because we had a blast. Hopefully she feels the same way, and I loved having her there with me. She was an incredible travel companion. So I found this deal. We found this deal, actually. Both of us together searched and decided on this. It was check-in on December 1st, check out on December 11th, so 10 nights and 11 days. We each had our own room, which was a junior suite garden view at the resort is Ocean El Faro Resort, all inclusive, meaning all drinks, all food, all activities on the resort were included. And the flights, we did a direct flight together from Dulles International Airport to Punta Cana on December 1st. And then returning, we went in separate flights because I didn't want to pay extra. And so I took a longer flight that went from, what does it say? That went from Punta Cana to Florida and Florida to the DC area, to DCA. And in total, so 10 nights, 11 days at the resort, all inclusive, flight going there nonstop, and one stop going back, was $1,499.71. That's including the hotel and the 2 flights. And then taxes and fees were $244.29. So in total, it was 1744, $1,744 for the entire stay. I think that's a really, really, really great deal, personally. 1744 for 10 days, 11 nights, and flights. I mean, I don't think you can do better than that, to be honest. Or if you can, let me know, because I would love to go lower. But this was probably one of the better deals I've done. It was better than my trip to Mexico last summer in 2022. So now I'm going to go into a review of the resort itself, Busan and Faro. And I'll also share some like pictures and videos so y'all can see what I talk about. I, try to document as much as possible, just because I love documentation. I think it's very good, for memories, and like also um, so that you can remember what you liked, what you didn't like, especially if I plan on going there again. I'll start with an overall. Um, oh gosh, I taught Spanish and French today, so my brain is a little when it comes to English pride. But I would say an overall grade, an overall note for the trip out of 10. For the resort, should say, actually, not for the whole trip, because we went on two excursions outside of the resort itself that wasn't included in all the packages. They weren't that expensive, and on another video I'll review those excursions for you for sure, if I remember and have time, which I hopefully should. But for the resort itself, I would say this was probably one of the best resorts that I've been to in my adult life, because it had so many things included with it. And it was a beautiful, beautiful property. It's probably the most beautiful property that I've been on too, of the resorts I've been on as an adult. The child, different thing as an adult. So I would give it a solid 7.8 out of 10 to 8. I know, I love to give ranges, but it helps. And why is it like 7.8 to 8? Well, you're about to find out because I will share. I'm going to share my screen so y'all can see some of the photos and stuff. This was my friend Amber and I at the airport and on our flights. And so when you get to the hotel, you get this bracelet put on your arm. And it's a really cool bracelet because it gives you access to all of the places that you have access to. The only thing is they warn you, which was kind of scary, that if you lose it, that you have to pay $150 to replace it, which was red flags for me. I was like, what? And then they give you this, envelope with like your card for your towel, and then some dollars that you can use, some ocean dollars that you can use for certain things. The ocean dollars are a little bit of a ripoff in terms of that, like they they're mostly used for discounts, right? Like if you want to get a massage, right, and it's $100, you could use, for example, 20 of those ocean dollars to pay for that massage. So you would be paying $80 out of pocket rather than 100. Things like that. So they use it to like lure you basically to get things that are extra, that are outside of the all-inclusive deal. And yeah, I don't love it personally. Here, as you can see on this page, these are the things that are available, the different bars. So, like, there are a lot of bars and lots of services. There's a beach bar, bowling, ice cream parlor, lobby bar, privilege bar, Mike's Coffee, piano bar, pool bar, sports bar, Daisy bar, Rio Lento, it's the lazy river bar, and the privilege pool bar. And then in terms of food places, there were Mercado is basically the buffet place, and they have themes every night, and it's open, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Privilege, it's for, so what I didn't realize, Amber and I didn't realize that we paid for the all-inclusive family resort. And there's a adults only part of the resort where you can go. At the beginning, when we got there, they said for $10 extra per day that we could have access to that place. We declined at first just because we were like, well, we want to get to know this resort and all the amenities and services that this resort has before we decide to go check out the adults only side of the resort. And personally, I think because maybe it was the time, maybe it was, I don't know what it is, the dates, but the resort wasn't so full that it was, especially so full with kids, that it was annoying or overwhelming. And it wasn't so full in general, like so crazy full that we were like, we really want to go into an adults only zone. Oh, so it wasn't really necessary, to be honest. But just so you know, there is a difference between the family resort and the adults only. So some of the other food places, there was Via Marina, which we didn't try. There was Blue Moon, which was a French-inspired restaurant, which we did try. There was Margarita, which is the Mexican-inspired restaurant, which we did try. There was Steakhouse, which we didn't try. Dolce Vita, which is the Italian restaurant, which we did try. Route 66, which is a kind of like a diner slash diner kind of feel, which I unfortunately didn't try. And Sakura, which is their Japanese offering, which we'll talk about, which we did try. And there's in dining room service. If you don't want to leave your room, you can call for dining. And we're gonna talk about food because I'm a huge foodie. If y'all don't already know this about me, I'm a huge foodie, so I got lots to say about the food. Um, in terms of the restaurants, you have to make a reservation, and to make a reservation, so they have a WhatsApp um, like messaging system. So if you have your phone, I turned my data off, but I used the Wi-Fi while I was in Dominican Republic, so it wouldn't charge my service anything. And so download WhatsApp because you'll need it. And on WhatsApp, they would message you and be like, okay, would you like to make a reservation for the day? You have to make it really early or make it before, like a day before, in order to get a reservation. And some restaurants are more popular than others. And so the sooner the better, because they have 6 restaurants, right? And that you have to make a reservation for. And the rest, Mercado, which is again the buffet place, you do not have to make a reservation. You just show up. Um, this was me the first night. When we got there, we got a drink. We got a piña colada, which was really good. When I went to in 2023 to Playa del Carmen to the resort over there, the drinks had this, they were using a substitution for the sugar that's supposed to be better and less sugar, but has a horrible aftertaste. and so I really hated the drinks there. This place did not have that. They tasted very good. This is the meal of the first night that we had. And these are some pictures of the resort. It is beautiful, right? December is a really good time to go to the Caribbean as well as to Mexico because the weather is wonderful, is beautiful. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's between 70s and 80s. So it was really nice. Yeah, it looks so idyllic. I I'm very impressed by them keeping, the whiteness of the place. Breakfast, one of my favorite offerings at El Mercado. They always had fruit, very fresh fruit, eggs. I love eggs. And you could, like, there was an omelet station, which I never tried, but I'm sure it would have been great if I did. Um, Lots of pastries. This is one of the bars. It's not a bar, but it's more a place where you can get coffee, hot chocolate, and like pastries and all of that stuff. It's like a mini Starbucks-ish style. Oh, this was us at the airport. Yeah, at the airport. I don't even remember what we
It's
said.
December 1st, and Amber and I are ready to go to the Dominican Republic.
And this is the major pool. For the pool, my biggest problem was that, I'm a 6'1" girly, and this pool was maybe, I think, maximum like 4 feet or something crazy. And so it was not very, like, it was absolutely not large enough for me to like really have a proper swim in. I only went in it once during the 11 days because unfortunately I got sick. I got a really bad cold like a couple days after arriving. And it's not because of the place. I think I may have brought a bug with me from the States. And so, yeah, that was very unfortunate. But the pool was really nice. It was really large. Um, there's a kids pool as well that's separate. So you're not like playing with all of the kids or anything in this one. You can get a towel. The one thing that was annoying is, you have to give your card. And once you give the towel back, they give you your card. They close the place for the towels really early. Technically, the pool closes at 6 p.m., which I think is crazy early. Um, but the place for the towels closed even before that, which was wild. Ocean el Faro. This is the lazy river, which is really cute. I didn't get to swim in it, unfortunately. Um, this is the place that has a restaurant in there, and then right across there's the beach. Here's the beach. Now, the thing about Dominican beaches, Punta Cana beaches, is they're a bit rough. They're rougher than the beaches in Mexico. And so you have to be careful when swimming. There was a lot of red flags. And a red flag means like swim at your own risk, like the current is bad, type of situation. And so you can't really tell too much here, but yeah, the beach, and also there's a lot of rocks in some parts of the beach. Thankfully, where we were, there wasn't. The sand was really nice, and it wasn't too bad for our feet, but it can be quite rocky. So be careful when swimming, and just know that. Here is El Mercado, the buffet place. More, I guess, like, and this was the decor in the front, the entrance of the resort. It was beautiful. Whoever designed this, 5 stars. This is my room. A little tour. I was very happy with my room. I think it was very, very nice.
Welcome to my hotel room at Ocean El Faro in the Dominican Republic. Let's check it out for the first time.
Yeah.
Nice bed. Yes, nice TV. Let's go. Ooh, nice dessert. Okay, some macarons. Who wants to come over here and spend some time with me? I got a whole ass sofa. Yeah, it's a little balcony.
I wish I had gone outside for y'all to see the balcony a lot more because it was beautiful, and the seats were really, really nice. There are lots of pictures of the food. This is again food from El Mercado, the the buffet place. And so I have lots of videos of those because, again, I'm a big foodie. As you can see, this is like the pasta station, and there was a pizza station. This is for dinner offerings. Usually, this is what they would have, a pasta station where you can, get your own pasta. And you can ask them to make pasta for you as well. There's like already cooked. Here's some soup. This was the meat station where they can cook you burgers. They can cook you like some pork, beef, whatever you want that they have available right there for you. And then you can add some stuff. This was the bowling place that they had as an offering at in the evenings. We unfortunately did not try it out, but I wish we had. It looked like a lot of fun. They also had this VR thing. Sorry for and not being super clear. This was a car, but this one you had to pay extra. It wasn't free. They have a gift shop, which was insanely expensive. One thing to really think about when going to the Dominican Republic, yes, they accept dollars, unlike other countries in the Caribbean and in Latin America. That being said, they rip you off royally if you use dollars. I highly, 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 highly recommend that you get pesos, which is the currency for the Dominican Republic. Why? Because you get more bang for your buck. And use your credit card that does the exchange, credit card or debit card that does the exchange for you. Like Capital One, I think, does a good job with using the best exchange rate. And so yeah, that's my recommendation. These are some of the stuff. They have beautiful, beautiful stuff. It reminded me a lot of the artisanal crafts in my country in Senegal, which I was like, oh, that's so nice. But I can get this for way cheaper in Senegal. So why would I get it here? So I didn't. But I did get some artisanal crafts after one of the excursions. Speaking of excursions, we went on two. We went to Saona Island, which is an incredibly beautiful island, and we went to the what's it called, Santo Domingo, to the capital of the Dominican Republic too as an excursion. You'll see some pictures here. I'm not going to explain too much just because they're not part of the resort. We didn't go through the resort. We actually went through different sites online. Amber and I really did our research before choosing these places and these excursions, and so I'll save all of this for when I do um, uh, a review of those excursions. Gosh, my words, my words. These are more videos and pictures of El Mercado. Um, this is the dessert like station, which was always beautiful in Kakalak. One thing that was a little bit of an annoyance is that they didn't write down what the desserts were. And so you kind of had to waste, because like you had to try things, and if you didn't like it, you basically were throwing it away, which I think is very wasteful. I'd rather you tell me what these are, kind of are, so then I can make an informed decision from there. That was just, a thought. And also for allergies, I was just like, this is not the best course of action in my mind. So there was a lot of waste, unfortunately, which I hate doing. I did try a little bit of everything. This is one of my plates, the soups. Uh, Activities. There were every day, the resort had a bunch of activities that were possible. And so, for example, and every day changed. Like there were some things that were every single day. For example, beach volleyball, which unfortunately I didn't get to do. even though y'all know how much I love volleyball, but I didn't get to play. And that was every single day, I think at 11 or 11:30 p.m. a.m. And then they had basketball, I think once or twice a week. And so I haven't played basketball in years, literally. But I was like, oh, might as well give it a try. So Amber and I went and played basketball, and there were a couple of boys there who were playing too. Like boys from like, I think one was in high school, I think he was 15 from Argentina, all the way to like a young man in his 30s in our age bracket. And so and we played 3-on-3, and it was a lot of fun. Of course, my team won. What's up? And then we decided to do like a mini photo shoot to commemorate our days. Yeah. It was the one thing I would say about this is that they have these activities, at least for basketball, they didn't have apparently anybody there to facilitate. We had to go find the ball inside of this area where they keep a lot of the stuff, a lot of the like balls and all of that. And the ball was a little flat, and it was like a man's ball, which is not too bad. Like, it's fine. Like, I can play with a man's ball, but it's just like if you're going to have multiple people play, if you let's say you have a bunch of women who are there, you should have a women's basketball available. You should have a pump available, right? If something is flat, you should have the hoop was tall for everyone, including for the boys and the men. Like we were all like, wow, this is way higher than a general hoop, which is kind of wild to me. Like if you're going to go to the pains of creating a field such as this, like try to make it accurate. No, well, that's just my thought. Um, this was at one of the restaurants that like serves, you know, burgers and hot dogs and such. It was delicious. This is the resort. This mm, margarita was the best alcoholic beverage that I had. We drank, I think I drank four and one person drank five. We met a couple, Amber and I, while there and became good friends while they were there. They were only there for like 4 or 5 days, and so we hung out with them when we could. And we went to the Mexican restaurant. I don't know if y'all remember. Um, I talked about the Mexican restaurant, and I forget now what it's called, but I'll look it up. And that was the first fancy restaurant that we went to. The highlight of that experience was most definitely this drink. Uh, and it was so delicious. It was sweet and but not too sweet. And there was like salt. Was it salt or sugar? I forget if it was sugar or salt on the brim, and it was just great. The food was subpar. I was not impressed by the food, unfortunately. Um, like I've had way better, and of course I've been to Mexico, so you can imagine. Not only have I had better, but like I've been to the country itself, and I think um, if they're going to, you know, make this menu that's supposed to be like a Mexican food, I think that they should do a much better job with the food. That being said, Amber and our two friends were really into it. They really liked the food at this place, but I also like my palate is a little insane because I've been all over the place and have all kinds of food, so I can, you know, be truthful enough to be like, yes, I expect a little better. A lot better. Yes. And so it was called Margarita. Hello. Yes, Margarita was so good. There it is, Margarita. And this was kind of what my food looked like. I got spaghetti. They had spaghetti on the kids menu, so I got that. The spaghetti was always very delicious. This place was where they had a lot of activities. So in this space, they had all kinds of activities. They had like bingo was all of the night activities basically run from this little place that's in the center of the resort. They had karaoke twice a week. They had, dance classes, they had concerts, they had fire dancers. I mean, the activities were awesome. Ocean Burger was the place I talked before with burgers and hot dogs. And this was another drink that we got into this at the sports bar. It was okay. It was a daiquiri, I believe. And I was like, it was fine. It wasn't great. It's more pictures from our leaving. So, Margarita, if I have to like give you a out of 10, I would say for me, it was 6 out of 10. And it was mostly because the drinks were incredible. And some of the food was good, but it wasn't out of this world for me. More mercado stuff, the buffet place. They had a huge salad bar, which I love salad, so I'm really, really like a big fan of that. They also had like a seafood space. This is like some of the breakfast offerings, as you can see, lots and lots of eggs offerings, which is great. Um, all kinds of food. Yes, they would have a seafood. I personally loved El Mercado just because I loved the breadth of all of the different things. My friend Amber got bored of it real fast and was like, the food is alright. But I think it just depended on the night or day that we were there. And I just loved all of the different offerings. Blue Moon was the second restaurant, fancy restaurant that we went to, and it's supposed to be French. So if y'all don't know, I'm from Senegal and I have a lot of French influence. I went to French school. A lot of my family from my mom's side lives in France, so I basically like almost it's as if I grew up partly in France. Um, and so it's very near and dear my heart, especially French food. I'm gonna be uber critical of that. The place inside was really nice, really cute. The ambiance was gorgeous. The music was just right. We started with, some salmon, which was delicious. But you can't go wrong with that. Um, and then we had this like potato salad, which was also really delicious, but very, very tiny offering, which is very French. Um, so we were happy with our appetizers. Smoked smoked salmon and some potato salad à la française. Um, and then we had some soup. I had this soup. I forget what it's called, but I all I know is this was a liquid soup, and this soup in France is not liquid. So they have this soup that's called this particular name that's supposed to be a particular way, and it wasn't that way at all. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And their French onion soup too, that my friend Amber got, also was not a French onion soup. And I was like, French onion soup is universal. Like here in the US, lots of restaurants do them, and we all know what it is. It's a base, right, of soup with onions, with caramelized onions and croutons. And then at the top, there's a layer of cheese, Gruyere cheese, that is like, cooked so much, right? It's like boiling hot. And on the sides, you can see the crust of the cheese on the side of the pot. This was not what they had. It was terrible. They had foie gras, which was delicious with a little bit of this like jam thing going on. And then this was my friend's. I think she got like bœuf bourguignon, and then I got I think the lamb or something like that. Um, as you can see, these aren't necessarily, this is not a bœuf bourguignon. If want to know what it looks like, go ahead and look it up, Google it. But this is not what this looks like in actually like French cuisine. And then this is just like a like generic meal, like there's nothing French about it. The meat was tender and nice in some parts and then tougher in others, so like it was mediocre. And this was the dessert. She got this, like, I think profiterole kind of type of dessert or something. And I got what this was supposed to be a fondant um, au chocolat, which is, molten lava cake. So when you open it up, the lava's supposed to come out and like drip out of there. There was no lava. There was no hot, delicious chocolate that came out of there. It was just a chocolate cake with vanilla ice cream. Um, the desserts were delicious. But I mean, for this one, the food was better than the Mexican for me. In terms of drinks, we didn't have anything. We didn't have any wine or anything like that because it's extra. That's another annoyance. It's like there are some items that are extra that you have to pay more for. I hate when they do that. Um, I get the rationale, but I don't like it personally. I think it cheapens the whole thing. Uh, Rather, they should have like some wines that are free, right? That they can offer. And then other wines that are more expensive, you have to pay extra if you'd like. That's my 2 cents on that. So I know I gave it a 6 out of 10 for margarita. For Blue Moon, I'll do a 6.5 out of 10. The food was better, you know, but it wasn't French. And I was like, and Blue Moon is not a French name. That was the other like thing that was puzzling to me. It's like Blue Moon is associated with beer, okay? Like in the US. Like, why would you call it Blue Moon? Something for them to think about, you know? The staff. So, if you don't know, the Dominican Republic is in the Caribbean and it's a Spanish speaking country that was colonized by the Spaniards. And there's a huge Black population. Some is natural. Like, I know a lot of people don't know this, but right, there are Latin American people have all hues. Okay. I know that in telenovelas and in lots of shows, they appear to be more white passing. I promise you, this is not the hue of all Latinos y Latines. You could say Latines, Latinos, Latinas, Latines. They have a huge multitude of colors of skin. Some are darker than me. It goes from really black all the way to really light skinned. And in the Dominican Republic, they tend to skew towards the darker hue, okay? So towards Amber's skin color, and all the way to darker than me. That being said, some of the darker skinned people come from Haiti because Haiti is a bordering country with the Dominican Republic. And due to, a lot of political and socioeconomical strife in that country, there's been lots of refugees, of people going from Haiti to the Dominican Republic to have a better life. And so, yeah, there's a lot of that. But you can't tell who's Haitian other than by their skin color potentially, or if you know people from that country, from Haiti, which I do. And so I could tell most of the time who were of Haitian descent and who were not. If you just talked to them, you couldn't tell because they spoke like Dominicans. Um, yeah, they picked up Spanish incredibly. And in terms of treatment by the staff for the most part were lovely and treated me really well. I think there were several reasons for that. I'm gonna stop sharing momentarily to like go into story time. Uh, Part of it, and I'll start with the pros, the happy stuff, and then I'll talk about the not so happy stuff. I think part of it was because um, I speak Spanish fluently. And so I immediately, would speak with everyone and just be like, hola, ¿cómo están? Ah, sí, por favor, favor de darme esto, por favor. Si no puede, no es un problema, blah, 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 blah. So I spoke Spanish with the staff, which put a lot of them at ease. I was raised right. Like, I believe in being courteous and positive and nice to everyone. Like, regardless of whatever power dynamics that may occur, being a client versus being a service provider, I think respect and courtesy should exist, period, you know? And everybody is human, like having an interaction and treating them as such and really seeing them is really important to me. And I think it should be important to everyone. And so they quickly like discerned that and treated me then in such a way, like we would joke around with each other and they were very kind with me. Um, and with that, when the staff likes you and they recognize you and enjoy your company, like they tend to want to give you things that are not necessarily a part of like your inclusive experience. They may give it to you extra just because they like you, which did happen on a couple of occasions. Um, and I'm not saying that like that should be something on your mind and something to like motivate you to do such. No, absolutely not. I'm just saying like that's was just a natural consequence of the way I interacted with the staff. That being said, I did notice that several people, especially men, certain men, tended to treat my friend Amber better than me. Amber speaks some Spanish, but she's learning and she's still shy about it. And so it wasn't like a language thing. It's just there's still that neo-colonialist mindset that the fairer skin is the prettier um, like thing. Like it's better, you look better, you're more beautiful if you have lighter skin. And I've seen this in so many countries, not only in the Caribbean or Latin America or in Africa, some parts of Africa, not all, thank God, but also in Asia and Europe. I've seen it all over. And it's very, 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 very disappointing. And it's sad because it's like, oh, because I'm darker skinned, I'm not as beautiful as my lighter skinned friend. Is that what you're trying to say? Like, and we're both black. Both her parents, are black. Both my parents are black. So it's not like she's, half or anything like that. No, it's just different skin color. But it was clear in many occasions. Like sometimes I was even ignored when we were both there together, which was to me insane because I'm like, you don't know. I mean, again, you should never treat somebody based off of what they can give you or get you. I think that's completely wrong. That being said, if at least you think in the mindset of, oh, let me treat the person who will give me more, like better, so that, they can give me what I want, you do that based off of facts and things that you know. And in this case, they didn't know who was richer between Amber and myself, right? And so treating her better when I potentially could be the one who like would actually give them a tip or who would do this. I'm not saying that this is what happened. I'm just saying like this is something that they didn't think about and didn't analyze. And I think that it's sad and it's dumb and it's not right. Yeah. It was funny, like on the resort, I was stared at a few times. I'm guessing because I'm a 6'1" tall black woman who, stands and walks with confidence and like very sure in myself and in my grace and beauty. And so there were a bunch of people, not just the staff, but also the guests would stare at me, which was very interesting because I was like, there obviously, and there were a lot of black customers. There were lots of black guests on the resort as well as in the Dominican Republic in general. And so it was interesting that I was being stared at because there were people of my color or even darker, like I said, even from the guest side. Um, and yet I drew some attention, which was weird. It was weird. Meh. Let's keep going. This was the third restaurant we went to, which is called Sakura, which is supposed to be the Japanese offering. Japanese, I say it in quotation because, you know, it was a hibachi experience, style experience. You can see the cook here. He cooked right in front of us, which was really fun. We started with a soup that was supposed to be like a miso type soup and a sushi. It was delicious. I asked for more and then this is the hibachi. We had some rice, some fried rice, some beef, and some shrimp, which I guess I didn't take a picture of when they gave it to me. Um, It was very delicious. I really enjoyed the food. Um, my only qualms were, I think sake was a part of the experience, though we didn't get any because I don't like sake personally. Um, and my only issues with this place was just like in terms of authenticity, like it's like, okay, if you want to be really Japanese, make sure, you have some soy sauce and wasabi. Make sure you're really thinking about the culture that you're trying to represent and what you're trying to serve. Like the miso is so easy to make, like, right. They have so many instant soups, and it felt like it wasn't quite a miso soup. It was this mixture of things that I was like, this is not really miso soup. And yeah, it was just my qualms. It was definitely the best food out of any of the restaurants that we went to. And so because of that, I have to give it an 8 out of 10. I really, really, really enjoyed the food. I asked for seconds. Like, I was there for it. I just didn't like the lack of authenticity. That being said, that doesn't bother me. Like, hello, in the US, Chinese food in the US is very different from Chinese food in China. 1,000%. And I still love that stuff. So that's not a problem. I'm just like, if you are trying to create this really, and that's what it felt like with the restaurants, is that they were trying to create this exclusive, out of this world experience where you have to make a reservation and you have to be very intentional and all of that. And I'm like, if you want all this intentionality, why can't you do the same thing in terms of like what you are presenting to then the guests? And I realized that most people do not have the same palette and experiences as me, that I've had the joy of actually going to Japan and eating Japanese food, of actually going to France and eating French food, of actually going to Mexico and eating Mexican food, right? All these restaurants that I mentioned, I've actually been to these countries, respective countries, and eaten their food. So I know what it tastes like. I know what it is. I know what is the authentic thing. And I am probably an anomaly as a guest in these resorts. But because that is so happens to be my experience, I'm going to be a little bit tougher. And even then, I don't think I'm that tough in terms of the grading. I'm still skew more American. If I had been French in my grading, I would give like a 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10, and that would still be like thought of as it's fine. So yeah, the restaurants were interesting. Silent disco was another activity that they had on a couple days of the week. So fun. They'd give you these like headphones, and there were three different stations, and so you could choose the station you want. Blue happened to be the station with a lot of the like, dances that everybody danced. Like we did La Macarena, we did the Cupid Shuffle, we did all of the fun group dances, right, that people do together, like uh Danza Kuduro, right? Ugh, it was a blast. Like my friend Amber and I went and danced for hours. It was so cool. And you can dance by yourself, you can dance with other people, you can sing out the lyrics. Like it was great. It was great. All these are pictures from the second excursion in Santo Domingo. I'm not gonna spend too much time on these just because, I'll do some different ones, reviews of those places later. So more El Mercado videos, more of the pool video, the lazy river, the light um, thingy. I forget what this is called, but where there's the restaurant actually, the beach, the beautiful, beautiful beach. Oh, another thing that was really, really delicious, the mimosas. I'm not a big drinker. Um, and I'm not a big drinker because alcohol doesn't actually do anything for me. But long story. We'll talk about it in some other time. But anyway, at this place, this is the trip I've had the most alcohol at. And it was so good. We had several mimosas for breakfast. Ah, really, really, really delicious. Some more food. Yeah, El Mercado. was my fave. Oh, these are more pictures from Santo Domingo. We're not gonna go through these. Just gonna see some snapshots. And we're back to Ocean El Faro. Yes. Gorgeous, gorgeous resort. And one thing I didn't realize until, because this is my first time in the Dominican Republic, is how well developed everything is. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest, but the airport is way better organized and much more beautiful than in Cancun in Mexico. And the streets were really well, like, the only bad thing is that in Punta Cana, which is apparently resort land, the land of resorts, they only have like one-way streets in a lot of places, which can mean, things take longer to get to. Our resort was about 30 something minutes from the airport. And the other thing that's very annoying about resorts, whether it's in Mexico or in Dominican Republic, is that they don't have a shuttle. They like for the money. I know I'm being a little about being like for the money we're paying. I know we're not paying that much money, but still, I think it's not cool that you do not have a service such as a shuttle from the airport to your resort. You know that most people, if not everyone, will come from the airport. Include it. You can charge extra if you want. Make it a service. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. That being said, we used private enterprise and we haggled a little bit. I think we paid $35 each to go from the airport to the resort. And then coming back, we looked online for some deals, and I think we paid like $30 each going to the airport. So I recommend you do your research beforehand, because there, unless you want to haggle with somebody, it's like, all these people come rushing at you like, come with us, come with us. And if you don't know the price of things, they can easily, make you pay more than you should. More mercado. This particular place, I believe, was the Italian restaurant, which was the last place we went to. Um, and it was Dolce Vita. Da, 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 da. More mercado. This is a mercado place. You can see the fruit, the desserts. Um, I want to talk about the Italian place, but maybe I'll wait until the food pics come. One thing that this resort did beautifully is that they had these awesome photographers. We became really close friends with one of them, um, who from the first day we got there, took our pictures, and then I, tried to get him at some other point, and then they had an app where you could see your pictures on. The pictures came out awesome, as you can see. Like ugh, I love photography. Photography is one of my passions that a lot of people don't know I have. Um, because, I have so many passions. People are like, can they remember all the passions I have? Probably not, but photography is one of them. And so I was really impressed with, the way he directed us, and he would be like, put your hand here. Now twist your body here. Okay, now, and if we didn't do it right, he would come and demonstrate, or he would be like, may I touch you so I can move you? You know, and this happened both at the hotel, the resort, and on one of our excursions at Sauna Island. And I loved it. I love pictures, so I couldn't resist. In terms of the price, they are insane. They're absolutely crazy. They charge you like I think $20 a photo. I kid you not. $20 a photo or something insane. And so what I did is I haggled for I think I haggled for 20 or 40. Oh, it's a big difference if it's 40. I think it was 40 pictures, or maybe it was 20 printed in like some in big formats, some in small formats, and then all of the rest in digital format for about $300, which I know is insane. And the $300 was not a part of anything. It goes totally extra. And I know that's a lot of money, but I'm an actor, and if you think about it, like for headshots, and you only get like 2 or 3 pictures out of those headshot like sessions, you pay way more than $300 for a lot of these. And so I was just like, some of these could be used as headshots. They could be used for so many different things. Like, so I decided it's worth it for, I got in the end, um, I think close to 100 or more pictures. So like, I felt like it was worth it. Yeah, I really, really like these pictures. And we got some pictures. Some look fun, some look awkward. That's like the trend these days with friends, right? Doing awkward pictures. And so, yeah. This I think is from Dolce Vita, the Italian uh, exclusive restaurant, our last place that we went to. The steakhouse is the only place we didn't go to, and the adult exclusive restaurant only. Um, and then this was supposed to be something, and it wasn't what it was supposed to be, which I was like, what is this? The soup that they offered was meh. Um, I got like a seafood pasta, which was meh. This was supposed to be, oh, this was supposed to be the tomato, basil, and mozzarella um, salad, like appetizer. And if y'all, like I said, please Google it, friends. This is not what this was supposed to be at all. Usually it's like around, and this, again, you can find it anywhere, even at a basic Mediterranean restaurant here. It's cut round, circular, the mozzarella, then the tomato is on top, then a piece of basil is on top, and they drizzle it with balsamic drizzle. And that's what that's supposed to be. But c'est la vie. And then we got pizzas. The pizzas were the best thing there. She got like a margarita type, all cheese. They drench it with cheese. And I got like a fig and onion and pear. They put a ton of onions on there. That was the best thing. And with like blue cheese, I think. This was the best thing that they had on the menu were the pizzas. Um, the food was so disappointing. I love Italian food. Another country that I've been to Italy a couple of times, and I love Italian food here in the US. Like love, 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 love it. And so I am gonna be critical. And yeah, this was not up to par for even like a decent Italian restaurant. I was like, the pasta, you could do so much better. Come on. It's just disappointing, disappointing. So I think I'm gonna give it I think the highest I've given was like the Sakura. And I forget how much I gave that. I may have given it an 8, which was very kind. Yeah, 8. So for this place, I would give it a 6.5. I think same as the French place. Some of the food was decent until the pizza was delicious, though there were way too many onions. But it was mediocre, super mediocre, mid, super mid. Some more stuff from Stone Island. Okay, more from El Mercado. I know I took a ton of videos of El Mercado. You can see on the food there because it's worth it. It's so delicious. So many offerings. Oh, at the Margarita restaurant, the Mexican, they end by giving you this cup of straight up fire.
Derecho,
Do
izquierda,
not drink.
arriba, arriba, abajo, abajo, derecho,
We were trying to
derecho,
do
izquierda,
the
izquierda,
Latin American
salud,
like toast thing.
arriba,
Yeah, we
arriba.
failed. We failed. We couldn't remember the words. That alcohol is pure fire. If you don't like straight up alcohol, like vodka, if you like vodka, like straight up, you'll love that stuff. If not, no. Here was one of the other activities that they had. This was fire dancing. It was gorgeous. Gosh, they were incredible. And they had some acrobatic stuff that were involved as well. Like, oh, They were really, really, really good. Professional, professional. One thing that this place had that I've never had at a resort before is that its own nightclub, which was a really great surprise because I love dancing. And, because of the pandemic, I hadn't been dancing in years. And so having a nightclub on site was incredible. The one downfall is it opens at 11 p.m., which for me is not a downfall because I'm a night owl. But for my friend was like really late, especially when we had to wake up at like, I'm a little crazy. When we had to wake up the next day at 6 a.m., I was like, whatever, I could party until 2 or whatever. Um, but yes, we tried to go to the nightclub. The first night we went was really lame. The music was meh. And then the second time we went was really fun. The music was really good. And so was the next time we went. And so, yeah, yeah. Um, guess it depends. Maybe all the night, but they have it every day at 11 o'clock. And some of the music is good. Oh, here's some tricks from the Japanese Sakura restaurant. Oh, the other thing that was odd, it was like it's a Japanese restaurant and they had Chinese music. I was like, really? Really? Like if you want to say you're a Japanese restaurant, have some Japanese music. No? No? Just me? Crazy? Okay. I'll do some more excursion things that we don't need. Okay, there are no more pictures. Yeah, we're almost finished with the review. I promise, I promise, I promise. Uh, So, I mean, in terms of a resort, the reason why I loved it so much were all of the different services. I loved, loved, loved. That it had a nightclub. It had activities all day long between sports, volleyball, basketball. There was a tennis court that you could go play. There was a pool for, mostly adults, the kids, a lazy river, the beach. You could swim at the beach. There was a lifeguard there, though I put my feet in there, but I didn't swim there. There was, the buffet restaurant in Mercado was, I think, really, really good. Had lots of variety. I enjoyed it. I did get a little sick of it by the end of my stay, by the 11th day, but still, for the most part, really enjoyed it. No food poisoning, so don't worry about that. There was no problem of that whatsoever. The weather was beautiful. The staff were really nice and were trying, in English as well as in Spanish. Um, the people at the resort, for the most part, were fine. Either ignored you or were nice and talked to you. There was, I think, a huge Canadian contingency while we were there. In karaoke, we had to say where we were from, and whenever somebody said they were from Canada, like the applause was insane. And so there's a big Canadian contingency and a big Latin American contingency, like people from all over the Caribbean and you know what's it called, Central and South America. So that was also very surprising for me. I was like, oh, okay, I guess a lot of Latin Americans come to the Dominican to go on vacation and to relax. The nightclub was a big bonus for me. The drinks were very delicious. The food was good. The food I think in Mexico was better. If I have to choose between the two countries, I think Mexican have a much better, you know, uh, foot imprint on culinary things than the Dominican. Sorry, Dominican Republic. I will go back, so you can always color me wrong, prove me wrong. The bias towards lighter skinned people was not hugely present, but was present and present in certain interactions and with certain staff members. The fact that certain staff members did not speak English very well. I personally don't have an issue with this because I personally believe, when you travel, that you should know some basic stuff and words from that country. Like I think that's just polite for in my mind. And I don't expect, right, perfect English or anything like that. That being said, and something I talked to my friend about was, if they need to hire anyone to like teach their staff English, please feel free to holler at me. you can contact me here on YouTube or wherever, to provide, English classes to your staff, and or like brush up on their skills, because there was a lot of misunderstanding, when through the WhatsApp, for example, they would ask a question and I would answer and they didn't understand. And my answers were really simple English. They were not, I didn't put any crazy SAT vocabulary word, nothing like that. And they didn't understand. That's a problem. They should be able to understand, especially if you have so many guests from all over the world, and it seems that a large contingency of them are English speaking. If you get, you're going to use this like platform to communicate with somebody, you gotta have somebody who understands the language. Um, and you put so much money into everything else. Why not put money into, especially the staff that's, of managerial positions or higher, position, get make sure that their English is up to par. Feel free to hire me. I'm an English teacher, or hire somebody else. There are lots of cheap English, language, services that you can get. The other thing is, if you've seen my other reviews, like in Mexico, I talked about, going through, you know, harassment in terms of like, a uh, what is it called now? Where they wanted you to like buy for a timeshare or like type of situation, right? And so here at the resort, they also have a place like that. I know, I know. They have a place where, they, you know, grab you and they can take you for several hours to talk about, buying some stake into the resort or whatever, or like a timeshare type of, situation. And thankfully for Amber and I, on our first day or second day, Unlimited Vacation Club is what it was called in Mexico. Here, I don't know what it was called, because when the guy caught us on our second day at the resort and asked us if we had been, um, talked to, or if we had had any presentation, and we're like, no, we haven't yet, but we just arrived, and we're trying to like check out the premises. Can we do this another day? And when we did that, he was like, yeah, sure, no problem, just here's my card, contact me, we got you. And our friends that we met, the couple that we talked about, they told us all about it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it's the same thing, where they bring you to a part of, to this, it's actually, I think, where that, light, um house looking place is. I think it's actually in there. They take you there and they give you a presentation of all of the offerings. And it's probably like really expensive. I think like 80,000 or $100,000 or whatever for the package. And then, they tell you their benefits. You have, I think, access to all H8, because this Ocean El Faro is a part of different resorts. And so all H8 resorts, maybe all in Dominican, maybe in the world, I don't know. It's very similar to UVC. And they give you drink after drink after drink after drink. And our friends can really hold their liquor down. So they drank a ton and then they said no. Which I was like, and I'm just like, why do you do this, friends? Why? Like, that is a surefire way of ruining some people's vacation. I promise you that. Because nobody is trying to stay hours in a confined space with other people being talked to and bells ringing and all of this jazz, while you're trying to sell something that they can or cannot afford. $100,000, not everybody got that, right, to pay, or can even pay during a lifetime for services that they don't need. Be more upfront, give up the jig right away, and then like move on. Those people who are really interested, you'll get them. Like, you shouldn't have to pull the wool over people's eyes and make them softer, mollify them by giving them a shit ton of alcohol. Like, I was disappointed, and that was a big like downvote for me for the resort that they do that. Like actually at the actual resort, like at least in the resort in Playa del Carmen, that didn't happen. Maybe they do the same thing, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't witness it. I wasn't a part of it. Don't do that. That's annoying. Um, yeah, that's terrible. Treat all your guests equally if you can. Okay? You don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know which person, like maybe the next person to invest in your company or to bring a ton of people there. Just don't do that. Like while I was there was actually a French African family. They're I think originally from um where are they from? Oh, Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, and but they all live in France, and they were there for a wedding. So there was a huge, like you saw in one of the videos of the discotheque, I was gonna say, the club. There was a bunch of black women dancing. They were a part of the party of the wedding, and I was like, you have all these people of all these hues and different places from the world who come to your resort. Treat us all equally. Treat us all like we all care, we all matter, and we're all important. And there isn't a hierarchy of like, again, I didn't see too much of this, thankfully, but just a little bit, based off of again how people treated my friend Amber versus me, and and I also saw some interactions too of like how some white people were treated versus how some black people were treated, like, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And Mercado, a big problem about that place is the service because it's a the cafeteria style place and it's very big and it's very um, busy. But even when it wasn't busy, the wait staff was not good about getting you water, getting you what you needed if you needed something. Because there's some things that you couldn't get from the buffet, like drinks was not available. If it were, I would get it myself. Like, don't believe me, I'm not a diva. I do not need wait staff to like wait on me. But if I can't get it without the wait staff, like water, like I was dehydrated very often in when I went to the buffet because I couldn't get water like that. Like I had to constantly be like, "Excuse me," which, you know, it's a problem. And sometimes they would forget you. Like you would ask for water and they would completely forget you. They said that they had a doctor on site, but I think they need to do a better job with that. Like I caught a cold, right? And they checked in on me and I was like, "Oh, I would love to have like cold medication or whatever." And they were like, "Oh, yeah, you can get that from our store and go pay for it." And it was like 20 bucks or whatever for like, you know, really simple cold med. And I was like, "What? That's not proper service. If you have somebody who's sick, like go there, and I don't even think it's an extra mile. Give them something to help them, right? Because that would have incentivized me to spend more money maybe on the resort and in other capacities. Don't make me pay for cold medication when I'm feeling terrible. Um, the food, like I said, could be done way better. They got a lot of space to grow. One of the biggest, most egregious thing where they can grow is the room service food. I was so disappointed in the room service. Like when I was sick, like I tried to make myself to force myself to eat something so I wouldn't be too weak because I got really weak really fast, to be honest, because I was in bed for a whole day and a half. I was in bed and I was not feeling great. And I was trying not to like, and not to get worse. And I was dehydrated. I was not feeling good. I was all of these things. And so I tried to force myself to eat some food. And I saw on the menu they had very few items, very few items available. And when I ordered it, I mean, one item was cold by the time it got to my room, and one item was like overcooked, and so it didn't make me want to eat, so I didn't eat it. And it's just, yeah, in room dining service is not where it's at. They had a way better menu in the Playa del Carmen place that we went to, the resort, than this one. And Punta Cana has a ton of different resorts. Because of our other excursions, we went to lots of different resorts to pick people up. And oh my gosh, some are like incredible. The um, Hollywood, oh, I can't remember what it's called, but there's one that's like a Hollywood something and cafe or something, and it was insane, huge, wild. Yeah, yeah, insanely crazy. It was beautiful. My gosh. And so there's tons of resorts for you to check, to look, to the way we chose it, Amber and I, is that we looked at the rankings on Expedia, as well as like we checked the rankings and the amenities and things like that, and like decide and the price, of course, and went that way in terms of our election. And uh, Ocean El Faro won. I would go there again. It's a beautiful property. There's so much to do. I would love to go with a bunch of friends. If any of you want to go with me on a trip in 2025 or later, please holla at your girl. I'm happy to organize. I love this type of thing, and I would go there gladly again, to the same exact resort. And then we can try a different resort next time. But I think it's good to try again. It's good to try different things that I didn't get to do, like the lazy river, right? Like the diner. I didn't try any of the food there. That would be nice to try. Go to the club way more, bowling. So I'm down for going again. If you want to go, holla at your girl. I realize this was a really, really long ass review. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you are watching till the end, I appreciate you. And I hope we can go traveling together some more in 2025 to old, places old that I've been before and places new. Maybe we can go to Thailand together, or to another country that I haven't been before that I really want to go. Vietnam, Thailand, um, Cambodia. If anyone is interested, let me know. And overall, so I'm gonna give overall this uh, place, like I said at the beginning, 7.8 to 8 out of 10. Yeah, I think that's a very generous um, grade given everything that I've mentioned. Of course, the pros outweigh the cons, I think. And I had a really good time. Hopefully, my friend Amber did too. It seemed like she did. If you have any questions, I think I've done a really comprehensive review of everything. That being said, I'm only one human and it's been a couple of weeks since I've been to the resort. Wow, it's insane. It's been almost a month to the day. Like tomorrow will be the day um, since I came back from that place. So it really was magical. I can't wait to go again. I'll be doing some more research to see if December is the best time or another time is great. And I hope you keep watching. I'll do eventually, who knows when, but eventually a review on the excursions that were done through TripAdvisor or other sites, to let you know if it's worth it or not. Because I believe, I love travel bloggers and such who tell us and give us advice on where to go, where not to go, what is worth it, what is not worth it, what is hype, what is not hype. Just because it saves us time, right? Time, research, and all of that stuff, and money, especially if it's worth your bang for your buck. This was worth your bang for your buck. Now be careful that I went December 1 to 11, and because of those dates, that's why the price was so good. When I looked, because my sister was available later on in December, at the end of December into the new year, when I looked at those dates, the price doubled. So it really depends on when you're trying to go. Um, the price will, determine that. And I know some people are like, oh, 4 or 5 days is enough time, and that's totally cool. I personally think, had I not been sick, 11 days would have been perfect, or even more. We're French girly. We do a month of vacation. We don't do a week. And it would have been great because I would have had time to enjoy way more of the resort and all of its activities, as well as way more activities in the Dominican Republic. Like I would have gone on more excursions with my friend Amber. So just some things to think about. Uh, Let me know all your thoughts, comments, everything below. I can't wait to hear them all. Um, and let's travel together some more in 2025. Bon voyage! Adios!